I started using drugs to deal with the pain of being a failure as a mother and even as a person in society.
I was an addict for 7 years. I dropped out of school when I was in 10th grade.
In 2009, my husband passed away, and shortly after that, I kind of fell into a very deep addiction.
My dad got into a really bad wreck. We got sent home with every prescription under the sun. I was about 14. It's the first time that I was curious enough to see what was in all those pill bottles. I was instantly hooked to it.
My daughter was raped, and my kids got taken away from me. And so that's what started my drug addiction.
My mom was addicted to prescription pills. She gave me my first one when I was in elementary school, and that's probably where it started.
I didn't realize what I was doing to myself and to my family around me.
I fell headfirst into the streets hard. There was no stopping. It was like I had been pushed away and not good enough by everybody.
I didn't care if I lived or died. You know, every time I would go to use, it was like, well, if I don't wake up, it'll be all right.
I started selling dope, selling drugs, and then I started selling myself.
I fell into the drugs as heavy as I could.
I was just always ill and rude, and I mean, I didn't care. I didn't have a life to live whatsoever.
I was hopeless and lost. I was so damaged in the inside, being very reckless with my life. I had no direction, no purpose. I don't really know what I was running from or what I was trying to numb.
I should have been dead many times. I've been cut up. I've been ran over on purpose.
I never really believed that God, was there for me, and I went down the wrong road and I got arrested.
I just ran and just kept running, and all the problems that I had, I ignored them. If I would have just listened to my mom, and my dad, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at now. But since I thought I was grown and I thought I could run the streets and do what I wanted to, because nobody wants to be an addict. Nobody wants to be on drugs or, just out in the streets.
When I was in prison, I remember sitting on my rack and it was getting close to my out date, and I was crying and I was like, I don't want to go back to the streets. This isn't what I want to do. And the Lovelady Center had got brought up, and I was actually very interested in going. I remember sitting in jail and crying and screaming at God, if you just let me out, I'll just do right. If you just let me out, I'll just do right. I remember walking through the door, and the lady at the front desk said, baby, I don't have any beds for you. There's nowhere for you to be. And I was like, I'm desperate. Y'all have to take me. And she said, give me 2 days. And 2 days later, I was accepted in here.
I was lost, and I was in bondage. I was in sin. It was just a lot of brokenness. I didn't come from a broken home, but I felt broken, hopeless. I was worried. I was shaking when I went in. It was 12 o'clock at night, and I come through the doors. I come from a different rehab, and I was shaking. I sat down on the chair right across from the coffee shop, and I just looked around, and I was amazed by how big it was, because you just felt the presence of the Lord here.
I was court-ordered here. I come straight from the jail at Winston County to here. When I first came through those doors, I was terrified to death. I didn't really know what to think. I knew I'd gotten out of jail, and here I was, and there was a bunch of faces that I had no idea who they were, nothing like that. I was terrified. I was thinking that I would only be here 6 months. That's what I thought, and I wound up being here 4 years.
I was supposed to be in prison for at least 5 years because I had a 16-year sentence, but by the grace of God, I only had to do 18 months. Surely, now I've got it, you know what I mean? Surely I won't go back to using drugs, but I did. Went to a couple treatment centers, got introduced to the idea of God, but decided that's good for you, but that's not for me. I was tired. I was tired of doing what I was doing. I knew my baby deserved a better chance than what I was giving it out there. So, at that point, I was just whatever they suggested, I was ready to do. I was court-ordered to the Lovelady. I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't know what to expect.
I was sitting in front of the judge. And he said, you know what, I'm gonna give you this opportunity. He said, we're gonna let you go to the Lovelady. So after a year and a half of sitting in the Mobile County Metro Jail, I was transported in the back of a paddy wagon in 4 Points, 4.5 hours from here. I knew then, you know, like instantly, like the desk worker looked up at the officer that brought me and was like, you can take those chains off of her, now she's ours.
Well, I originally came here, showed up in shackles and handcuffs on March 5th, and then 30 days later, my 2 children came and joined me here. I had this dream right before court, and I just knew everything was gonna be okay. And then when I walked through the door, I just felt it. I was like, okay, this is where you want me, this is where I'm gonna be. We're gonna make this work.
Being nice and caring about people and not wanting to see people hurt when I used to hurt people, that's a change.
When I got here, I had no desire to live. The only thing in my mind was, I've got to keep these kids alive. I've got to keep these kids alive. I'm their mother, it's on me.
I thought the drug was the answer to my problems and to what I was going through, but honestly, it is not the solution. It is just the problem.
Through the program, I just got to love it more and more and more. You know, the more I gave it to God, the more I felt at home here, and I didn't want to leave, to be honest.
You're broken when you get here for many reasons, and you're not just broken in one area.
When I sit back and I think about it, I couldn't do it without the Lovelady. People don't love you out there like they love you in here. They do not welcome you and your children with arms wide open and say, yes, you have kids trailing behind you and they're a mess and you're a mess and we're gonna love you anyways and we're gonna help you, but here they do, and it is truly a blessing.
I've never had an experience like that in my life where you can just completely be yourself, whether it's a good day or a bad day, and people are still gonna love you no matter what.
I was kind of annoyed at first because I was like, ma'am, you don't even know me. Why do you keep saying that you love me? But I get it, you know, and I feel like that is a very important thing that we do here, because a lot of people have never heard that. Like, genuinely and truly never heard, I love you, and it be sincere.
It is life-changing. It will get your confidence back. It'll put you on track. They will love you like you've never been loved before.
Amy Haley's the first face I saw. She's like, well, come on. We didn't know you were coming, but come on, sit down. I got you. And starts just testifying, giving me her testimony, talking about God, and it just gave me a lot of hope. Like, I could relate to her because she was real, you know?
The biggest change I've seen in myself is the Holy Spirit inside of me. My yearning for the Lord.
If I can do it coming from where I come from, if you'd have told me 5 years ago that I was gonna have a business card with my name on it and an email address and doing what I do right now, I'd have told you were crazy. And from having a robbery first charge and being on fugitive files for 3.5 weeks every night, now I'm bringing girls in and I'm helping them change their lives and telling officers, hey, you can take those cuffs off of her because she's ours now. Being on the other end of that, and it's all God. He gets all the glory for sure.
I remember my daughter telling me, the reason you feel God so strongly here is He is close to the brokenhearted.
God is the answer, and He is the solution, and He will help you just as He helped me, just as a Lovelady has helped me too.
The Lovelady Center is the best place in the world. It's my second home.
When you come to Lovelady, come as you are, because they literally will love you through anything. They love you exactly how you are. They love you where you're at. It's gonna be the biggest support group that you'll ever have. And it's a family.
You know, for so long I was like, I felt fatherless, but I never was. Even though he was gone, I had my Father in heaven. Blood doesn't make you family. Love makes you family. And I found that right here.